Welcome back to the Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure, where we are still exploring a bit. Last time we looked at all the roads we have unlocked with this chapter that we hadn't visited so far, and along the roads there are also places, and I want to visit some of those, namely the ones we don't need for the urgent requests. So we start with Bellguard Gate. Okay, and then with that we reach Bellguard Gate for the first time. Now we have nothing to do here, but I want to explore a bit. So this is Bellguard Gate. That's right, the CGF unit station here is charged with guarding the border we share with the Empire. Don't you remember, Vasi? This is where the Guardian Forces commander, Sonia Bales, operates from. Oh, her! I've never met the woman myself, but I've heard she's a cool beauty in her own right. I won't deny she's a looker, though a hell of a lot scarier than she's sexy. The previous commander was discharged due to the scandals surrounding the cult incident. And good riddance too, Sonia was already more of a leader than him anyway. The guy was a lazy bum who pushed all his work on the subordinates while he was whining and dining. That jackass's corruption was the whole reason I got roped into the CGF's rehab training in the first place. He was in collusion with Ravash and Hartman, and had gnosis prescribed to the guardsmen here. While we're on the subject, Randy, how did that rehab training go? Pretty smooth. The boys and girls here should be back in fighting form now. No surprises there though. The one who led it is a real hardest when she wants to be. They are totally wrung out by the end. Oh yeah, all this talk about this training reminds me. I heard Mireille's getting a promotion. Mireille, she's that warrant officer we met here, right? Yeah, looks like she's finally gonna get recognized for all her hard work. What do you say we take this chance to visit so I can tease her about it? Maybe try congratulating her instead? But on that note, we should stop by and say hello to Commander Bales too. The commander's probably in her office on the second floor. She may be busy preparing for the trade conference though. Let's head up and find out then. Welcome to Bellguard Gate. You'll need to be processed before you can cross the border to the Empire. Wait, is that you, Randy? Yo, working hard or hardly working? You know me. By the way, I've been meaning to thank you for the rehab training. You got me back in tip-top shape. I couldn't be more grateful for that. Ah, don't sweat it. I only participate because the new commander ordered me to. But if you want to go again, give me a call. We can make a fun weekend trip out of it. I think I'll pass for now. Morale's been at an all-time high ever since Commander Bales was assigned to Bellguard Gate. With her support, our recovery from drugs we took to the cult incident went a lot faster than I expected. Yeah, well, Sonia and the old commander are basically night and day. There aren't too many people who can keep up with her training though. It's a real gut check. You're right about that. All it means is that I've got to buckle down. Especially after Joachim Günther took control of my body during the cult incident. Still gets under your skin, huh? Keep up the good fight, Loggins. You're not in it alone. Right. The security is remarkably paltry compared to that of Garelia Fortress. But of course that's simply because our mighty empire is in an entirely separate echelon than tiny little Crossbell. Unfortunately not one. Our old commander was in cahoots with Hartman and Joachim Günther. He was even an accessory to the cult incident. Following his dismissal, Deputy Commander Bales was the obvious pick to replace him. The CGF is finally being managed the way it should be now. It's something to celebrate for sure. Before, Warrant Officer Mireille would handle all the duties that the loud we used to call a commander would shirk. At least now the CGF is finally being managed the way it should be. It's a change worth celebrating for sure. I hear Prince Oliver will be attending the trade conference as the Emperor's representative. I can only assume His Majesty appointed him to assist the Blood and Iron Chancellor. Once you pass through the gate, the Empire's Garelia Fortress is just a stone's throw away. Be aware that Imperial custom checks are quite strict. if you're planning to go there. Oh, Stella, my sweet, darling Stella. Darling? Say, Class, I heard you and Stella have been seeing each other, even if you're not going steady yet or whatever. So, you make any progress on that front? I guess so. Things are getting pretty serious between us, like, lovey-dovey serious? I sit here, Stella stands there, and I watch her while I eat. Every day, it's like a dream. Well, how is that progress at all? My sweet darling Stella and I are still taking things slow. Don't you try to seduce her, alright, Randy? I'm begging you. He's hopeless. Welcome to Oh, it's just you, Randy. What are you doing here? I thought rehab training was all finished up. It is, but I just wanted to drop by and see your pretty face. Oh, sure, and what makes you think I'd believe that? Besides, I'm not sure Class would take too kindly to you making a pass on me. Wendy, that guardsman over there staring daggers at you. Point taken. I try to keep the mojo under control. Anyway, if you're going to come and bother me while I'm on my shift, the least you could do is order something. Make sure to eat a lot, okay? Just like we did during rehab training. Scott and I are working separately today. I'm taking care of a monster that needs exterminating nearby. Once the trade conference starts, the guild is going to be extremely busy. So before that happens, we're trying to finish up as many of our requests as we can. I have no doubt in my mind that His Excellency will leave the trade conference having secured favorable terms for the Empire. Such is the way things should be. I'm what they call a military enthusiast, someone who knows and loves all things military. So as you can probably imagine, working here at Bellguard Gate fires me up like nothing else. The CGF isn't technically a military, if you want to get pedantic, but I still think it has its charms. Didn't you tell us that very same thing last game? Someone has a fan poster of Risha? A book entitled Make It at Home, Soups Edition is settling in on the table. And we learned milk pottage. Good to see you again, SSS. Oh, and if it isn't I mean, how have you been, Randy? Ah, you can't fool me, Mireille. I know how you really feel. You've been getting lonely ever since I went back to the SSS, haven't you? Don't you remember what you said when I walked out the door? Don't go, Randy. Stay with me forever. Shut up! Shut your big stupid mouth, Randy. I said no such thing. Like two peas in a pot. Good to see you're doing well, warned Officer Mireille. Speaking of which, Wendy tells us you're in line to receive a promotion? Congratulations. That's right. Though, to be honest, I don't feel like I deserve it. I was one who led the assault on the IBC during the cult incident. That should have been a serious offense. Sure, but you were being drugged and manipulated. You're hardly liable for your actions that night, no? That's what my head tells me, but my heart is having a harder time forgiving myself. Sheesh, why do you always gotta be so damn stubborn? This promotion is your reward for practically running the place when that old schlemiel of a commander was flaking out over time, yeah? So just take it. Sonia wouldn't have made the offer if she didn't think you earned it. That's surprisingly supportive advice coming from you, Randy. What are you talking about? Supportive is my middle name. How do you think I landed this job? You're right. I should accept my new rank with gratitude. Thank you, Randy. Ah, what was that? Nothing. Forget it. And the office is no longer an ostentatious mess. Good to see you, Commander Bales. Same to you, Sergeant Major Seeker. I take it your assignment to the SSS is treating you well? It is, I'm learning a lot. So this is the famed commander of the CGF, Miss Sonia Bales, was it? You must be quite a capable woman to be able to keep an organization like the Guardian Force in line. That much is for certain. The SSS is in her debt for all her help she's given us. Long time no see, Commander. Belated congratulations to your promotion. Thank you, Detective. Though now that you mention it, it has been a while since we last met. We haven't had much opportunity to speak, what with the upcoming trade conference. I can only imagine how busy you are. Indeed. I've been inspecting the area around the conference site nearly every day this month. Our goal is to expect the unexpected when the time comes. Can't blame you, especially with all those foreign dignitaries arriving tomorrow. Sorry, barged in on you, Commander. Maybe this wasn't the best time to visit? On the contrary, you're just the people I wanted to see. I have something I need to tell you all. You do? The other day, a certain group stopped by Bellguard Gate. They introduced themselves as the Red Constellation, the most powerful Jäger Corps in Western Zamuria. What? They came here directly? I know you have a history with the Red Constellation, Orlando. That's why I wanted to speak with you about this personally. They say why they were here? No, and according to the guardsmen on duty, they didn't do anything especially suspicious. After arriving, they relaxed in the mess hall for a while. Then they met with a merchant entering from the Empire before leaving the gate together. An Imperial merchant, you say? Maybe it had something to do with Crimson Co. business? Right, the Shell Corporation used to finance the Red Constellation. It's the most likely conclusion, though I didn't think they'd be so blatant as to operate in the open. The CGF exists to protect Crossbell, and yet they waltzed right past our best and brightest without a second thought. We can't prove that they've done anything criminal within state boundaries yet. They may not be trying to act covertly, but there's no direct evidence linking them to the incident at the old mine either. If they weren't a bunch of show-offs, they wouldn't be running a fancy club. Thanks for the intel, Sonia. There's no need to thank me. I think it's safe to say the Red Constellation will require some special attention in our security planning for its trade conference. Be sure to inform the CGF as well, should you happen to learn anything more. Roger that. We'll keep our ears open. Sniper barrel. Mama warned me about people like you. You cozy up to a chest, get it to open up, and then leave it all empty inside. Look at the size of that canyon. You'd die for sure if he fell in. What a rush. And next on the list is Armorica Village. Well, isn't this a breathtaking sight? This is Armorica Village, right? Yes, it is. The main industries are agriculture, livestock, and beekeeping. This is one of a few places where the legend of a divine wolf still persists. That's right, it's also the first location we ever investigated outside the city. Oh yeah, the incident with the Mafia Warhounds. That takes me back. I remember us handing off the investigation to all of you back when the Special Support Section was just some no-name police squad. Ironically, the whole damn mess could have been avoided if not for the corrupt idiot of a commander you had. That case was also when we met Zaid. It was only thanks to him saving us that we were able to resolve the case. And he's been a great help to us ever since. Not just in fights, but in other cases where we've needed his support too. Isn't it more that half the people you meet end up having to bail you out? I mean, why else would you hire me on? The SSS practically specializes in having the spotlight stolen from them. Can it, Vazi? Meh, damn man, picking at some old wounds. Well, I think we've come a long way since those days, and our best are still ahead of us, I'd say. Good. Howdy and welcome to Armorica Village. Our village raises crops, livestock and bees. We've also got our fair share of scenic views, so feel free to stay a while. It's been peaceful around here lately, and thanks to the rain we've had, the crops have been doing well. Still, it's the weather like today's that makes me want to bask in the sun. Maybe I could spread some straw on the bed of the orbital truck and lie down for a nap. I'll never be bored as long as I have my brother around. Things have been even funner too, now that Stefan's playing with us. This village is way too much peace and quiet. The only news we get around here is just our cow gave birth and stuff like that. Can't something big and exciting happen for once? I mean, yeah, that baby cow was cute, but still. I just want some chaos, you know? Like, real crazy stuff. I used to live in the city with my mom. Since we moved to Armorica, every day has been a brand new experience. Can't even remember why I was so against moving here in the first place. But now Camille is whining. Armorican honey may be sweet, but catching some weird buttes right now would be even sweeter. Okay. Item shop. Harold stopped in earlier to do some business. He's a real promising merchant, that one. Jay could stand to follow his example. Welcome. Go ahead and have a look-see around or whatever. We've got some honey, I guess? Man, I wasn't made for this customer service stuff. Gramps keeps telling me to take after Mr. Hayworth's example, but honestly, comparing me to a long-time merchant like him isn't fair at all. Racing flags as decoration for Noel's room. She likes the motorsports? We grow all sorts of veggies here. The sun shines down on them real good in these parts. That's where all the flavor comes from. When we ship them out to the city, tickles me pink to know even the city folk can enjoy our harvest. Folks are importing more produce lately, but I bet my right arm that ours still has a beat in taste. A writer officially moved here not too long ago. Her son's become a good friend of our Camille and Pulley. I'm glad to see they're all getting along. They've been renting a room in the inn for the time being. I should go and say hello every now and then. There aren't many children in the village, so I'm glad they get along. Welcome to the Ash Tree Inn. Go ahead and sit wherever you like. I highly recommend you give our omelette rice a try, by the way. We recently revamped the recipe. It's so tasty you'll be asking for seconds one bite in. Mr. Hayworth is renting a room upstairs. I think he's done with negotiations for the day. Maybe you should bring him some coffee. Oh, my dearest Celie. Every day she graces this inn with her presence. Her smile is just so captivating. Time slips away when I see her, and I end up staying here all day. I wonder how many refills of coffee I've ordered just to catch another glimpse of her smile. It would be nice if those refills were free though. Ash Tree Inn specialty dish. Chef's special omelette rice. There's a recipe written here. I remember this one, because there was one here last game too. Oh, you folks are with the police. What was it, the special support section? Thank you for all your help before. Same here. I remember when you saved those tourists over at the ancient battlefield. Oh yeah, I caused you a bit of trouble with that overdue library work too. Don't worry about it, it's all part of the job. Have there been any other strange incidents around here recently? Not particularly. The village has been pretty peaceful as of late. I should mention, though, that we've had some unfamiliar faces pass through. Oh yeah, the giant red-headed man in his cohorts. A giant red-headed man? Would you say his hair was the same shade as mine? Now that you mention it, yeah, that looks about right. Aside from a big guy, there was an energetic young girl with the same red hair. Would you happen to have any idea why they were here or what they are doing? Sorry, I wasn't really keeping too close of an eye on them. Did you see anything, Alf? Well, I did see them buying some things from the general store. Cheese, bacon, rye bread and the like, all of it in bulk too. Oh, well, it was over the moon. He made a mountain of mirror off of them. Interesting. So the Red Constellation visited this village. They were stocking up on provisions from the sound of it. Everything they bought has a long shelf life. Jägers always maintain a sizable food supply. It's a fundamental part of how they operate. Battles could break out any time, so they always need to be prepared for the unexpected. A core as battle-hardened as them isn't gonna cut corners on this sort of thing. Huh, you learn something new every day. Still, could that really be the only reason they were here? We can't know for sure. For now, let's make a note of what we've learned and move on. Thank you, this was very helpful. Please feel free to contact us if you ever need anything. I can't say I understand what this is all about, but I can tell it's no light work. Stop by when you have time to spare, and I will prepare some of my delicious omelette rice for you. The large red-headed man and his group didn't do anything particularly suspicious when they passed through our village. I did get the sense that everyone with him was a dangerous sort, though. Just a hunch from looking at them. These folks bought a whole lot of shelf-stable food from LoH. Maybe they're going mountain climbing? Maybe an odd bunch, that's for sure. They were mercenaries. Hello, Mr. Hayworth. Oh, Mr. Hayworth. So we're in Armorica today? The special support section. Fancy meeting you here. And yes, I came over to conduct some business negotiations. Another day of honest work, I take it? Indeed, and as luck may have it, my trip here has earned me some favorable deals. Speaking of which, would you all be so kind as to accept this from me? Honey syrup. Yo, can we really have all this? Absolutely, and ended up with some extras in one of my transactions. My family couldn't possibly use it all, so I hope they can be of use to you. In that case, we'll gladly accept them. On the bright side of things, I've been able to make some lucrative deals today. Unfortunately, Chief Tolter and Derek's arguments show no sign of slowing. I'm rather concerned about them both. The relationship as father and son must be incredibly strained. Car Magazine. A magazine entitled Car Freak Volume 2 sits in neutral on the shelf. Learn the orbital car pattern pop paintwork. I moved here from Crossbell City with my son Stefan a while back. He hated it at first, but thankfully I think he's gotten used to living here. Our crop yield and livestock haven't been doing well lately, so the village's finances are on the downturn. Despite that, the village chief, my father, still refuses to let go of his old ways of thinking. As a future chief of the village, it's my responsibility to do something about this. We can't just let ourselves be hamstrung by tradition. The prosperity of a village depends on it. Last game was a treasure chest in here. Oh, the special support section. It's been a while, Chief Tolter. But it has. I heard you all had resumed your duties. It's good to see you in good health. Is something the matter, sir? Well, I've been dealing with a personal problem lately, but it's hardly significant enough for me to trouble you all with. We really don't mind, though. If you have an issue, there's no harm in it at least telling us what it is. Keeping this stuff all bottled up can't be good for your health. You never know, the SSS may be able to help you out. Haha, I appreciate that, but it's really nothing so important. If I can't solve it on my own, I'll send you a request. But for now, don't give it a second thought. Well, alright, if you insist. Please get in touch if you ever need anything in that case. Of course, you will be the first I turn to. My husband and son have been getting into rather intense discussions about the village's futures recently. That isn't necessarily a bad thing, but neither is willing to concede a rag, so it always ends up spiraling out of control. At this rate, our relationship with Derek is only bound to get worse. Yeah, it gives me a migraine. If Derek and Tolta want to debate over how best to run this village, I don't see anything wrong with that. It's their stubborn refusal to compromise that's giving me a migraine. And finally, we visit Mainz again. My older brother is a miner. He usually slacks off at work, but he's actually putting in some good effort lately. Grandma's been so proud of him, and you know what? I'm too. My job is to hold the Septium mine in this village to a city. It can be a rough drive in a loaded truck since the mountain path has so many twists and turns. On top of that, this road is also lined with cliffs, cautions of the utmost importance, as you can guess. I ain't the most educated, so all the to-do over this trade conference is a little over my head. Just a bunch of eggheads getting together and talking stuff over, right? Well, I hope it goes well for them. I want our youngsters to have a bright future ahead, you know? When I grow up, me and Daddy are gonna run the store together. So I gotta do my best and learn everything I can before then. Helping, that's what I gotta do. My husband forgot to bring his lunch down into the mine. He must be getting hungry by now. I have to go deliver it to him. Wow, so this is what the inside of a mine looks like. So big and dark in here, feels like a ghost could pop out at any moment. Where's my dad anyway? Oh well, guess I'd go and look for him. I wanted to see where my dad worked at one. Where is he even? Oh well, guess I have to look for him. Jans? He should be at Mayor Bixen's place right about now. But forget that. I can't get over how cute Luca looked yesterday. I'd do anything to see that smile again. How about that kid over there? He's the chief's son, right? Wonder what he's doing here alone. Being curious about the job. Uh-oh. I just had to go and forget my lunchbox this morning, didn't I? I have to go and grab it when I get a good stopping point. I plumb forget to bring my lunchbox with me this morning. I've been learning to appreciate a nice frosty after-work beer. See, I've actually been doing my job instead of slacking off lately. To be honest, it takes a lot out of me. But my grandma's been happy about my new sense of dedication, so that's a plus. It's good that LoH is motivated now, but his actual skills on the job could use some work. It's up to veterans like me to show him the ropes. Locked. Any monsters down here now? No. Doesn't look like it. Okay, then. Alex, if your mother catches you there, you're in trouble. You know that, right? Luca got herself plastered yesterday. Luckily, she's a happy drunk. Normally she's incredibly antisocial, so it was that much cuter to see her smile for a change. Marlo thought the same thing and fell in love right on the spot. I love these kinds of dramatic encounters. I wonder what will happen next. My head hurts. That's what I get for joining in on the miners' party yesterday. Got so carried away with the booze I can't remember a thing. I just hope I didn't do anything stupid. Yeah, a recipe here. Vance and I are working apart today. Our schedules have been a lot more erratic ever since Estelle and Joshua left. Exterminating monsters solo can be tough, but we'll manage somehow. Nothing here. Something about those fellows just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know, maybe we shouldn't split hairs about it. After all, we made a decent bit of mirror of them. True, but we can't be too careful. Remember, we still don't know who's responsible for destroying the gate. Hello, Mayor Bixen, Guns, it's good to see you both. If it isn't the SSS. Sorry about that, we were just discussing something. You're referring to the incident at the old deserted mine, yes? Correct. Since when we've had several CGF patrols come through to investigate. We still have no leads on the culprit behind the explosives, nor the reason for the phenomenon occurring inside. For now we close the mine up good with a shiny new lock. At least you don't have to worry about anyone wandering inside anymore. In all honesty, that's not the most pressing concern I have. You see, a strange group of people appeared in Mainz the other day. They purchased several huge septium crystals that are worth a small fortune. A strange group? They were, how to put it, distinctive, to say the least. The leader was a middle-aged man, remarkably well-built too. Now that I think about it, his hair was the same fiery red as Randy sports. Could it be? The Red Constellation? Did they try anything suspicious other than buying a ton of septium, I mean? Not in particular, but they certainly didn't look like a typical traders. Even so, it's hard not to be suspicious. We never found the culprit behind the incident at the mine, after all. Based on what Randy said earlier, they're probably the ones who set the explosives. Well, we don't have any concrete proof, so let's just hold our tongues for now. But what could a Jäger Corps hope to accomplish by buying septium crystals? Easily transportable money? They've got connections to who knows how many rotten traders for Crimson & Co. I'd bet they're peddling those huge chunks of septium for some side cash on the black market. That definitely makes sense. Great value, hard to track. Well, at any rate, I've been meaning to give you something. Guns, if you would. Yeah, got it. Here you go. Old mine key. Is this the key to the mine outside? Yep, it's a spare we had lying around. Are you sure that's alright? We are outsiders after all. You had a spare key just lying around for a new lock you just made? Alright. Let's not question that. I know I can trust you SSS folk. Should your investigation take you there for any reason, feel free to enter. We recently replaced the ladder, so it should be easier to move around inside. Thank you. We'll make sure to keep this key safe. You all hold onto that extra key for the old mine just in case. I'd appreciate it if you could go inside and check on things every once in a while. Buying that much septium isn't normal, not even for traders. Just who were these guys? Oh, I just remembered. There was something I wanted to ask you too. Would either of you be interested in being set up with one of the village miners? Set up? Well, yes, if Guns and the other boys had a pretty face to come home to, I'm sure they'd work a fair bit harder. How about it, ladies? I'm sorry, I'm not terribly interested in being set up right now. Me neither. I have other duties that take precedence. I see, what a shame. Well, you know where to find me if you change your mind. If you're ever in the mood for a handsome Mainz miner, come talk to me. Who knows? You may just find your future husband. I'll even be your go-between if you want. So we were here too. Okay. My grandson LoH's finally taking his work seriously, and he hasn't missed a shift since. Oh, great goddess of the sky, thank you for answering my prayers. Nothing warms my heart like seeing my grandchildren mature into responsible adults. Monsters are sometimes drawn to the septium buried in the mine. You'd think they'd spell trouble, but not for our big strong miners, no sir. They can handle the average monster just fine on their own. Alright, that is the outside that we do not need to go for our main story quests. So the urgent requests. So, that shall be it for this episode. Then, for exploration, we have a city left. And otherwise, until next time, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.